So what I want to speak to you tonight, and first of all, once again, my name is Matthew Hurley, is I want to ask you guys a question right quick. Have you ever felt like a vampire? And I'm not talking like a vampire that's got the teeth running out, you're always going for blood and searching for something you crave. But sometimes, if you're addicted to something, that's what you are. You're craving the one thing that's really sucking your life away. You're hiding away from darkness. You're in a specific room or a specific pattern for a long period of time in your life, and you're hiding away from people you love, from people you want to be with. And that's what addiction did to me. Have you ever been to a point where you're in a serious relationship and your boyfriend or your girlfriend's laying down in bed, and when you're laying next to them, you're ashamed of yourself? While they're sleeping in peace, your mind's going a million miles an hour because you, in fact, know that if they knew exactly why you're still up and what you're doing, they'll have nothing to do with you. And for those of you who are saved, have you ever had that point in your life because of addiction that you're walking that tightrope and you're questioning if God loves you, and you're questioning your own salvation? Because if you were saved, you wouldn't be doing this. You say you're better than this. God says you're better than this, but yet you keep on going back. So this evening I want to tell you my story, how I grew up, how I was arrogant, and how I thought I had it all. And in periods of time in my life, I said, God, I got this. I can do this. And I put God in my back pocket for whenever I needed him. Now, I'm from Hickory, North Carolina, which is about an hour or so north from here. And my parents were divorced by the time I was 4 years old, so I don't remember much of my dad when I was very little until about 7, 8 years old. And I used to go spend the nights and weekends with him when I was about 8 years old, and he lived in an apartment with my stepmom. And then this is a different world from my mom's house because my mom did a great job raising me. Sometimes she worked 2 jobs to make sure I was fed, make sure I was clothed, put me in a good school system. But to give you a glimpse of my dad's past, I knew what marijuana was by the age of 9. I can tell you a difference between good weed and bad weed. I knew what a blunt looked like. I knew the smell. I knew every time I went to his friend's house or go with him on a journey, what the little tweezers were and the ashtray was for. He'd get drunk, so anytime I'll go over to his house, or when he moved back into my grandmother's house, he lived upstairs, I went to my dad's grandmother's during the weekend to spend some time with him, but half the time he was out and about, playing in a cover band locally or being out doing whatever. And as a little kid, I was always tried to stay up and wait for him, but by 10 o'clock I was already sleeping, and then by the next day, if he was downstairs by 12 o'clock, that was a win. And by this time, my aunt and uncle on my dad's side got saved. And they made an offer that no 8-year-old could refuse. They said, if you come to church with us on Saturday, yes, I did say Saturday, they're Seventh-day Adventists, we'll give you pancakes. We'll make you pancakes. Now, who could turn this down? I mean, blueberry pancakes, strawberry pancakes. I mean, this was IHOP before I even knew IHOP existed. But as I went to church with them, I learned who God was, who Christ was. God was here, I was here, but I learned how to pray. So I prayed for my dad, and I prayed for my family, and then in the summer of 1998, some things happened. My dad had a lawnmower injury and lost some of his toes. He also accidentally killed one of his beagles by giving her too much medication. He's getting fed up with life. But see, because my mom feared for my life, I wasn't there as much as I was, so I didn't know all these things were going on. And one Sunday morning, him and my stepmom goes to church in Hickory. They went to the altar, laid everything down at Jesus' feet. Like that, he was saved. Alcohol, gone. Marijuana, gone. Cussing, of all things, gone like that. So when I went back to their house, it was night and day as far as the changes. They're clean cut. There's even a story where people would come around my dad's house just to see this change, this new creation he was. And this one guy was even foolish enough to light up a joint in front of him. My dad smacks it out, stomps on it, and escorts him back to his car. Obviously, they never spoke again. But when I was growing up at this point in time in my life, this is where I learned more about God, and this is where my faith deepened. I learned about King David, Jesus Christ, the salvation, God's creation. So I moved on through high school, and I was that straight-edge kid. Always praying, had a Bible. Wasn't necessarily a Bible thumper, but I admit, I did look down on people that I knew who were partying, drinking in high school because that wasn't me. I'm better than that. I wasn't invited to many parties because everybody knew this about me. But yet, there's something I felt that I was missing because I wasn't part of that cool clique. I didn't have all these crazy stories to tell when I got back to school Monday. The only thing I thought about was like, oh, well, I went to my dad's gospel group and hung out for Friday night, Saturday night, and watched the race on Sunday. Then I went to a community college in Hickory and started going clubbing a little bit, which is fun, but I was still a straight edge. And I figured out really quickly that driving home drunk people was not fun. About 3 or 4 times, I'm like, no more. So I went to UNC Charlotte. 2 of my roommates at the time, they didn't go to college, so there was a separation between my home life, work life, and college life. I wanted to be in the in crowd. I wanted friends. I left Hickory for a reason because I didn't want to go to Appalachian State or Western Carolina. It's going to high school all over again. I wanted new experiences in big city. So I got in fraternity. Fraternity scene's a little bit different. It's funny how you see somebody's reaction when you're trying to talk to them one day and you're wearing your fraternity letters like, oh, you're in fraternity? Yeah, let's go party. We're friends now. But even that wore down on me. Even that got old. Because I found out in fraternity parties, everybody's getting smashed. People are getting drunk, irrational fights, and I've kind of even walked away towards that a little bit. And the whole time, saying, God, forgive me. I'm fine. I got this. And I can control it because I knew when to party, when not to party. If I had a school assignment or a test the next day, I'm not partying. I was still on the dean's list. I was still effective at work to the point I was even a manager. And a side note to this, I like techno music. I like EDM music. And then one night, one of my friends asked me to go to this place called Midnight Till 6. Sure. It's a techno club? I've never been to this place before. Totally different from the Bar Charlottes and Have a Nice Day cafes of the world. And I want to read you guys a Bible verse right quick. And this is how I kind of got suckered in. Proverbs 5, starting with verse 3. For the lips of a strange woman drop as honeycomb, and her mouth is smoother than oil. But her end is bitter as wormwood, sharp as a two-edged sword. Her feet go down to death, her steps take on in hell. Thou shalt ponder the path of life, her ways are movable, that thou cannot know them. Obviously, that could be an adulterous relationship, but how I apply it's also sin. Because there's always something out there that I wanted. I wanted to be the in crowd. I wanted to be the center of attention. So when I met this girl, she asked me one thing. She's like, give me your glow sticks. I said, no. Why? Who are you? It's like, if you give me your glow sticks, I'll kiss you. I'm like, really? And I'll be honest, she laid it on me. Here's a glow sticks. She's like, baby, are you not rolling? I'm like, rolling? I don't know what that is. She goes off and dance. A dance probably similar to what got John the Baptist's head cut off. And then I went upstairs and I seen a couple of my other friends. They're all in this VIP lounge and they're sitting down and getting these light shows and getting massages. Having fun. No bickering, no drunks, no fights. And I thought to myself, I want that. I want the center. So, the summer of 1999, I took my first ecstasy pill. Felt great. I was alive. I had feelings I never felt before. Had so much energy. Everybody was cool. Everything was beautiful. But the come down was kind of rough. But, drink some water, drink some orange juice. I'm fine. Lost some weight. Didn't worry about it. I was trying to cut some weight anyway. So within a 3-month period, I go from the typical frat boy to going out to the clubs every weekend, take ecstasy, to selling drugs where I'm making about $3,000 to $4,000 a weekend selling drugs. I would pray, and I was still praying. God, thank you. I'm sorry I'm doing drugs, and forgive me for selling drugs, but my bills ain't getting paid, and, well, I can't afford this nice lifestyle if I wasn't selling drugs. I'm not being able to go to South Park Mall and buy the nice clothes I guess I want to, and I don't really know how to cook, so I'm just want to buy food, but I had that one bad semester where my GPA was 1.9. Now I thought to myself, my mom didn't make all these sacrifices for me just to go below it in school. I also had some friends who to this day are still in prison because they were selling drugs. I have some friends whose lives is not really recovered right now because they're doing drugs. For example, this one girl I know who had a track scholarship at UNC Charlotte. 3 months later, she was working at a strip club. Last time I heard, she's still on Rocky Scene, in and out of rehab. That's how quickly it can happen. But I arrogantly thought, I'm going to shut this down, which I did. 2000. Moved into a new house. Some of his influence are gone. I'm doing great. Got a significant relationship. Got the job out of college. And then one Friday night, me and my friends were going to this place uptown Charlotte, which I don't remember the name of the place to this day. I've been trying to rack my brain for the last couple of weeks, but I'll remember it was nice inside. Inside was candlelit. It was a very chill club. Outside had fire pit patios, and the club closed at 4:30. And it's funny how you can rationalize things sometimes. I need an extra little kick. And alcohol doesn't give me that kick to stay up all night. So we started doing little bumps of cocaine here and there. We'd foolishly go to the bathroom with a bag of cocaine just with a key. But that just stayed on Friday nights. But then it trickled on down. It's like the honey does of sin. It goes to Sunday nights to where I don't feel like drinking tonight because I got to work tomorrow. We'll do little bumps here and there. And sometimes we actually had some left over for work the next day. Bumps here and there. And then it turns into, let's save some money tonight by not going out. All of our girlfriends are working. We actually had this thing say when the girlfriends are away, the drugs come to play. Kept on sinking lower. Girls go out, we all be doing our thing. They come back, we're watching movies or playing video games, and I'm trying to get to sleep that night, and I can't go to sleep. I'm having a cold sweat. Sometimes we're up all night, and they go to bed, they wake up, I'm like, what y'all been doing? Oh, playing video games and watching movies, which we were. We just left out the cocaine part, of course. So within a month and a half, I lost my job. I lost my girlfriend, and that's another story. But it wasn't cocaine's fault. And I can rationalize that because of choices that other people made. But it doesn't mean God was not knocking on that door. My rationality was so trapped up in cocaine, I didn't know about it. Because why go on dates when if I pay $50 for a bag of cocaine, I know what I'm getting? Give somebody no job and no significant relationship, but cocaine's there. It's a deadly combination. I didn't know it. A group of my friends, we would do it. We find rationale and excuses to do it. Sometimes we do it and I don't even know it. We just go out downtown. Next thing you know, for 7:30 in the morning, we're playing darts at some random person's house. I was some friends because of this, because one time in particular, I was supposed to go get it for some people, and somebody found out about it because I was getting it from a dealer's house, and everybody knew who this dealer was. They put two and two together. I'm out of that loop. But yet, their friends, without their other friends knowing, would hang out with me because they knew where to get it. I knew I had a problem, but I was in denial too. Because I would pray that, God, if this person wasn't in my life, I wouldn't do it. And if this influence wasn't in my life, I wouldn't do it. It wasn't me. I was just being arrogant. I was blaming everybody else. One of my friends was in a motorcycle accident. He had to move back home. One of my other friends had to go to rehab. He's out of the picture. Next thing I know, I'm doing it by myself. Friday night after work, got nothing else to do on Friday night, go to my dealer, get a bag. Trapped in my room, in darkness, like a vampire, not coming into the light. I had a roommate, I didn't even see him for days sometimes. If the phone rang and somebody I didn't want to talk to, didn't pick up. It sucked my life away. I missed days of work because I go out on a Thursday night or a Sunday night and get blown up. I realized it was me. And I honestly thought that I can be like my dad, because one time, all it take, like that, I'll be done. It worked for my dad, so there have been plenty of nights where I'd be on my bed, and after I was coked up and had a great time, but once it starts falling down, and once it's 6, 7 o'clock in the morning, I'm hearing a bird sing, I just pace around my apartment. I never had a suicidal thought, but man, I thought I was going crazy. I thought my little skin was going to literally jump out of me. My nerves were shot. I'd hear random noises and just pray that nobody sees this, and I'm thinking, man, if anybody knew this, I'm done. This is my own personal hell. And I remember that I'd be on my bed sometimes just praying like, God, forgive me. God, get me out of here. God, I'm sorry, God. And that little demonic voice in my head is like, God died for this? Yes, he did die for this. And I'm asking you, I'm telling you, if anybody's going through a situation right now, just keep praying. It might not be a snap of the finger where you're saved and you're out of it, but keep praying. Because God has not given up on you, and you should not give up on God. I had people in my church, my old church, would help me out, and they literally brought me out of the muck and forced me to go to church, and they gave me encouraging words. Because God, once you're saved, your sins are blotted out. Just keep praying, ask for forgiveness, because according to God's eyes, your sin is thrown from east as far as it is to the west. God can renew you. God will restore you. Everything that you felt that you've lost, he will restore. I guarantee you that. My life now, if you told me where my life is now compared to what it's 10 years ago, I said, no way, man, I'm a cokehead. No way will I be able to speak. My life is beautiful. I work for a great company, have a beautiful girlfriend. But God brought me out of it. And the great thing about darkness, as I learned this past Sunday, is once you step through darkness and once you go through darkness, you kind of know what it looks like. And when you see somebody in muck and mire of darkness, whether it be any kind of addiction, food addiction, cocaine addiction, alcohol, you name it, once you walk down that path, you can reach down and pull them up and help them have their story. Their story can change lives too. I appreciate everybody's time this evening. I'm going to give it back to Ms. Kim.